Hi guys, and welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And today guys, today I am going to be reacting to 1-star reviews of my favorite books. So I've seen a bunch of people do this. Most recently, Jesse May did this, and then Alex Nieves did this, and then Q and TG did this. And it's hilarious watching people react to other people hating things that they love. And so that's what I'm going to do today, is react to people hating things that I love. Now, I haven't even searched for the 1-star reviews yet. I haven't. So this is all going to be completely instant reaction because I haven't seen any of them. So let's see how rude people can be about my books. So the 3 books that I'm going to be looking at, we're going to be looking at Senlin Ascends, Traitor's Blade, and I can't wait to read the Traitor's Blade one. Everyone hates Traitor's Blade. And then Guards. And I defy these goons to say, who can give Guards a 1-star review? Are you kidding? So without waiting any longer, let us see. We'll start with Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. 1-star reviews. This person hated it. Anxiety inducing. Read the 5-star reviews, so gave it a try. Wished I hadn't. It manages to make you uncomfortable from the beginning. Any anxiety I've ever felt while traveling was dredged up. Crowds that kill, theft, abandonment, helplessness, completely insane antagonists. I skipped to the end to try to make it better, but no luck. What? Yeah, all that's true. It's terrible, and it is anxiety inducing. That's the appeal of the book. And you just skip to the end. That's ridiculous. This person says, question mark. Where did these good reviews come from? Slow, boring plot. I started to yearn for the end of the book much too early. I usually finish every book I start, not this one. What are you doing? That's not true. It's not true. It's a great book. Would not recommend. Torturous to read. Did not connect to any of the characters, especially Senlin. Would not recommend. What do you mean? Thomas Senlin. Guys, Thomas Senlin is a gem. You ask anybody except this person who's read it. Ask anybody in shelf space, anybody that I've recommended it to, even if they don't really care for the book, Abby, you still end up liking Senlin, despite the fact that you really don't want to. Overdramatic, anxiety-inducing, depression-facilitating hot garbage. Why do we disappear into books? To be entertained, not to read a sadist version of Wreck-It Ralph 2. What does that even mean? Does Senlin break the internet? I was impressed by the author's ingenious writing style. He's a brilliant storyteller. He just has a dark outlook on humanity. No happy ending here. So you give it 1 star because you didn't... You admit that it's written well? But all right, I guess that's fine. All right, this person regrets his purchase and says a whole lot. The highlights: I did not like this book. The main character is gormless, feckless, and chinless. They seem to lack any form of actual intelligence, streetwise or otherwise, despite the constant assertions they're a teacher. My initial impression of the main character is that they are humiliated by the presence of women's undergarments. I mean, that's true. There's at least 1 flashback every chapter. If the chapter doesn't have a flashback in it, 1 to either side of it has 2 to make up for that fact. They rarely, if ever, add anything valuable. That's not true. That's not true. The only way to get the love story between Senlin and Maria, his wife, is through the flashbacks. Anyway, read this book if you like your protagonist pathetic and mostly without merit. That is so not true. Senlin... Your setting's reminiscent of a half-remembered late-night cheese dream of a tripped-out Victorian education enthusiast. Flashbacks, all caps. Weird for the sake of weird. Flashbacks, all caps. Again, this was my favorite, guys. Senlin is not... He is naive to a fault, yes, but he is stubborn as he tries to learn, as he tries to not compromise his principles while surviving in a place that doesn't give 2 craps about his principle. That's so mean. What is y'all's problem? Poor writing, stupid plot. I abandoned the book early. No character was interesting. I had no sympathy for the hero who was not very bright. Pointless book. I don't know how you can say this has poor writing. Bancroft, I think, is a brilliant technical writer. I'm sorry, it's boring. To be fair, Senlin, the first level, the first section, the parlor in the basement, I mean, I can see how some people could find that less interesting. I found that the least interesting part of the book, but I mean, I liked it anyway. But I know that some people, like Charmaine, it picked up after that first section. But I don't understand why y'all are hating on Senlin. Yeah, he's super naive and probably has. I mean, he's super uptight. Like, that's his thing. Like, he doesn't know how to be vulnerable, and that's really where his problem is. And then he's also too trusting, you fool. It's much harder to find them on Goodreads because I can't organize them by rating on my phone. So, what a meandering, boring, mindless drudge. Why did they call Senlin so boring all the time? On their honeymoon, Senlin, a dull headmaster, loses his wife, Maria, in the marketplace on their way to visit the famous Tower of Babel. That's true, but then Senlin is a dusty, humorless bore, and a much more realistic scenario is that wifey Maria regretted her decision and took the first opportunity that arose and got the heck out of there. That is so rude. She did not flee Senlin. That's so mean. That's just hateful. That's hateful. Y'all are hateful. All right, that's enough. Okay, so people think Senlin is boring. I can see how they can say that. I don't think it's boring. I think it's a really interesting study of trying to keep to principles in a world that is completely anathema to those principles. I think Senlin is interesting because he refuses to let the tower break him. Maybe you don't. I do think that the later books build even more. If you hate Senlin, there are other characters, especially in books 2 and 3, that come to the forefront that are really, especially the female characters, are some of the best I've read in fantasy. But y'all are so bored by Senlin. His wife did not run off. They got separated. So mean. All right, so we're gonna move on to Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Cacel, first book in the Great Coat series, and I love this book, but I know so many people have a problem with this first book. If you have a problem with Traitor's Blade, I can promise you the next books are way better. Like, they build on everything that I liked about Traitor's Blade. I mean, if you hate it, some people I know, then you're not going to like it. But here we go. DNF at 40%. At some point you have to ask yourself, is it worth the stress to read on? Traitor's Blade, unlike most adult high fantasy, is written in conversational first person. Falkio talks to the reader quite frequently in that nudge nudge wink wink style that very, very easily strays into annoying territory. And that's what it dang did. I read so many telling not showing, you might have expected me to do X, but I did Y scenarios. I was ready to grab a hatchet and finish murdering the lot of them. Whoa. Partially because of the writing, I didn't give a crap about anything. Not Falkio, not his friends whose friends I've already forgotten, not their bloody honor or their plight. Plus, Falkio's wife, something happens to her, which kicks off the story in Falkio's self-discovery journey. Are we not tired of lining male protagonist character development with the bodies of dead women? Because I am so beeping tired. I mean, I can't really speak to all that without spoiling it. That does happen. I mean, that's true. It's in chapter 2. It is a flashback. So, I mean, if you like flashback, all caps, from Senlin Ascends, you'll like this one too. I'd hoped this would be a kind of fantasy version of Three Musketeers. Instead, it's a tedious, misogynistic mess. Avoid. I mean, I don't think that's true. I don't particularly find it misogynistic. I mean, I also don't think it's tedious. I think it's super exciting. I think it's the opposite of tedious. And I don't think it's a mess. There's a lot of one-star reviews that address a lot of people. There's one part of the book that is pretty much universally reviled. I didn't enjoy it. Alex didn't enjoy it. Those of us who like the Greatcoats still didn't enjoy it. My buddy Jeff didn't enjoy it. Nobody enjoys this one part of the book. Nobody. Because if you read it, you'll know. Nobody enjoys it. It wasn't. It didn't ruin my enjoyment of the book overall, despite its just complete unnecessarity. So there's a lot addressing that, and it's a spoiler, so I can't really talk about it. But it's, it's in the latter part of the book, and a lot of people do not enjoy this particular scene. Like, they hate it. They hate it with the firing intensity of 1,000 suns. Also, many things about Deus Ex Machina. See if I can find one that has that. All right, I chanced on a review which compared Traitor's Blade favorably with Lord of the Rings, so I read it immediately, but sorry, no, it is nothing like. That is a plus in my book. This is more after The Three Musketeers without the dash, verve, excitement, color, and originality of Alexander Dumas' book. No, it's not. It is so fun. Falcio, the hero, and his two friends go on a quest on the behalf of their murdered king to find the mysterious treasure, and their adventures are related in 4 greatcoat stories. Traitor's Blade is book 1, wherein Falcio does some things. I can't go into that. I found the plot dull, the going tedious, the characters stereotyped together with the dialogue which too often descended into unpleasant modern swearing, quite out of place with the atmosphere the story was trying to create. I shall not be reading books 2, 3, and 4. I don't know how you could describe this as Lord of the Rings. I don't know what review they came upon that describes this as Lord of the Rings. It's not, because stuff actually happens in this first book, which automatically makes it not like Fellowship of the Ring. So things happen, and that are exciting, beyond one thing with a bridge. So, also, no Samwise in this. Auto plus. Extra star. No Samwise. What a horrible excuse for a novel! This book was a nasty, unpleasant read, and I wish I could erase it from my memories. That makes me sad. This one's titled Traitor, which this book is. This book was okay for me. Will I read the next? No! I really didn't like anything about this book. The reason I gave it a 1 was for those that like this type of story and how it's told. Wish I could have given it a 0. I found how the story was told a pain, jumping all around for me, and there was no cohesion. It really didn't find anything worth saying. I don't find that true. I thought it was exciting, and it doesn't really jump all over the place. The first book does have flashbacks, but it's talking about how Falcio became a greatcoat, and I think the flashbacks are really interesting vignettes and stories in their own right. I'm wrong, apparently. Sometimes authors just try too hard to come across as witty, clever, and funny. This is the case with Traitor's Blade. The humor isn't funny and it feels forced. The editing and maps appear to be top-notch, but other than that, this book falls flat. Also, it's essentially YA fiction with a few F-bombs dropped in. Very juvenile. If you like this sort of writing, try out Abercrombie's Shattered Sea or anything by Michael J. Sullivan. These titles actually pulled off what Mr. J. Cacel was trying to do. Most people like about this book the humor between the characters. Okay, I mean, it didn't feel YA to me. That's fine. Not The Three Musketeers! You're right. The story failed in this suspension of disbelief that is critical to the production of good fiction. I didn't believe in the characters or the story. I felt that the story was internally inconsistent, and it wasn't clear why. The idea was good, and the story could have been good and believable, but I felt it was like reading a Marvel comic book. The characters were cardboard and not believable as people. I didn't finish the book. I don't believe that. But I can see the Marvel comparison. There is a lot happening in a short period of time, and it's a lot of big stuff. So there's a lot of big event after big event. Again, one of the biggest complaints people have about this, besides the stuff with Falcio's dead wife and the particular scene I'm talking about, Deus Ex Machina. At the end of Traitor's Blade, a lot of things are resolved through what appears to be convenience. Now, that's true. That's true. Deus Ex Machina don't bother me as much as they probably bother some of you. And if it makes you feel any better, every single one of those is explained in books 2, 3, and then the final one is explained in 4. So every one of those things that happen in book 1 have a reason for happening. We just don't know the reason yet, so it appears like it's Deus Ex Machina. I mean, again, people have to enjoy this book or they're not going to move on, but, I mean, that's my defense of that. Avoid this book! I admit the first half of the book was absolutely fantastic. Well done. He creates a baseline of his world. I'm going along reading it, and then all of a sudden I'm riding on rainbows to the moon. Save your money! This is one of my top 10 worst books I've read. I mean, seriously, has writing devolved to this pathetically low level? I was appalled that this bozo got a contract from a publisher when there are so many good indie authors out there. Shameful! Have y'all seen that John Mulaney sketch about bozo? Like, beat it, bozo! Beat it, bozo! That one? That's what reminds me of you. All right, we got to come off of Traitor's Blade. People are mean and don't like this book at all. I really like Greatcoats. Please read Greatcoats. I can see where some of their complaints are. I do. I see them and I understand it. It did not ruin the book for me, these complaints. So guys, we are moving on to Guards. I will be shocked shocked to find any one-star reviews for this book that aren't, Amazon sent me a copy that was destroyed, so I'm giving the book 1 star. It's the book's fault. So let's see. Shocked. Oh, first one! Book was listed as new but arrived damaged. Super disappointed. Yeah, because that's Sir Terry Pratchett's fault. You're right. What? Shoddy production values and abridged so thoroughly that much of the best story is left out? What? Guards is one of the pivotal pieces in the Pratchett subset involving Sam Vimes. I was bitterly... Oh, he's reading the abridged audiobook. And... See, no one has anything to say about Guards, actually. I don't understand why this is such a popular series because I was bored to tears. All right, Norton. I decided to try reading something entirely different for a change, so I tried Discworld. I know I'm in the minority in saying this, but I couldn't wait to finish this book. I don't understand why it's such a popular series because I was bored to tears. It took all of my self-control not to rip this book in half and throw it in the trash can. I finished it just to make sure I didn't miss out on a good ending. It never came! No offense to anyone who likes reading Discworld, this series is just not to my taste in reading. I didn't find anything funny or interesting at all. I gave it a fair shot, but this is my first and last Discworld book. The story was terrible, and I should get a metal, M-E-T-A-L, for finishing this book. I wanted to like this series, but I just couldn't get into it. Most of the books I read, I can't wait to get back to the story. This book made me dread reading it. There's no way I'd attempt reading another Discworld. Scratching my head. I must be missing something. I heard nothing but rave reviews for these books, but, is it supposed to be a parody of a fantasy novel writing, or is it just bad? I don't get it. Yes. Yes, it is. It's parody and satire. Yes. How did you not know that before reading this? I did not like the potty humor in it. Terry Pratchett's a gifted writer and very funny, but I don't enjoy the potty humor, therefore I didn't finish reading this book. I also don't enjoy potty humor, and I don't think there's a ton in Guards. I think they might talk about peeing once, like one time. I don't think they talk that. I do not, trust me, I would have recalled if there's a bunch of potty humor. I don't understand that at all. And then the rest of them are talking about how bad the condition of the book delivered is. There were 3 real one-star reviews for that. Oh, Sir Terry, you got it. Out of like 1,500 reviews on Amazon, or 1,900 reviews on Amazon for the mass market paperback, it is 5 stars. Like, it's not a 4.5, it's 5 stars. Because everyone gives it 5 stars because it's freaking amazing. Let's see what Goodreads has. Oh, 4.31. That's less than Rage of Dragons. That is false. That is false. Hard false. It has 1% one. Let's look. All right, here's one on Goodreads. I absolutely hate DNFing books, but I have to call it quits. This is my 6th try reading it, and the first 5 times I couldn't get past page 4, and this time I only made it to 20. I've only ever DNF'd maybe 3 books, the last one being book 4 of Wheel of Time, Nynaeve Tugs Her Braid. This is a completely personal preference. I'm just not a fan of the humor or the writing. A lot of people love it though, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. To me, the writing felt all over the place and very disjointed. A lot of the humor just fell flat for me. I'm really disappointed I didn't enjoy it more, as I've heard great things about Pratchett's writing. I don't understand that. The opening pages of Guards with the satire of like secret societies is so freaking funny. It's one of the better openers of a Pratchett book, I think. It is so funny. All of you people in my Discord who have convinced to read Guards, back me up in the comments. Tell me the secret society opener is funny. Guys, I've been scrolling for 2 minutes straight. I cannot find another 1-star review for Terry Pratchett on Goodreads. Or for Guards. I put one for Pyramids. All right, well, the only other one I can find before it went to, sorry, there's a problem, we need to reload, is something in a language I did not understand. But it said Terry Pratchett, and I didn't understand the rest, but it was 1 star. So that person did not enjoy Guards. So, what have we learned? We have learned that Senlin Ascends is boring, with a boring, feckless, gorming? I don't know, he's chinless. Thomas Senlin sucks and is boring. Senlin Ascends is boring, and nobody cares. Traitor's Blade is super objectionable and offensive, and has Deus Ex Machina, and is terrible. How did that crap get written? And Guards is not funny at all, and filled with toilet humor, which I mean, again, I don't think it's true. I mean, not every book's for every person. That's true. That's true. So, I mean, my feelings aren't hurt, but it's so weird to read these and see people have a completely different experience than you had with something that you really enjoy. So I know how Jessie feels now with her reviews about Imaginary Friend. So, man. Well, if y'all ever read Senlin or Traitor's Blade or Guards, I sure hope you don't think they're a 1. But tell me what you think of these books in the comments. I'm certain Traitor's Blade has its haters. But if you... I know, and I also know Kevin the Undying doesn't really care for Guards. He keeps trying to have people not read Guards, instead read Rincewind. No. Don't do that. Read Guards instead. That's all I have for today. I'll find some new favorites and then do some more of these one-star reaction reviews. I really need to do a video where I am shocked that people gave 5 stars to books that I despise, because I mean, I would probably be super offended. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. Information for my Discord and my Patreon is in the description. I will see you next time.